Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Ever17, the Out of Infinity. We are nearing the end, I think, this time. Pretty sure. Last time, quite a bit of emergency. Coco fell ill. She came down with this disease they called, okay, I just realized them. TF Blau. Which stands for TB. Which that's I wasn't thinking when I was thinking tuberculosis last time. Like I said, horrible memory. But anyway, so Coco got ill. Sora finally was able to tell them that there's a secret facility down below the down on the ocean floor beneath LeMU, and they have a much better medical facility there than they do here in LeMU, so they're trying to get her down there while there's still time to hopefully save her. Apparently there is a serum that can do something. They didn't say whether it was an absolute cure, I don't think, or whether it was just something. They didn't really specify, but they could have. I might just have forgotten it. But anyway, that's pretty much the summary up to now. They're there at the door, supposed entrance to the I was almost going to say underwater facility, much deep underwater facility. So the question was, how in the world were we going to open that door? I would think, well, oh crap, are they going to throw this at me here at the end? I don't know if these have an actual basis on the ending. Oh, that's Sora though. Can you tell me what the access code to the electronic lock is? I ask Sora again.
不明です。EBF 研究員やこの部屋の専属スタッフにしか伝えられていないんです。
Even a hint would help.
私、解除コードを探してみます。
As soon as she said this, a transparent keyboard and console appeared in front of her.
レミシステムのセキュリティブロックにアクセス。ヒンメルのプロテクトキーを解除します。
The buttons on the electronic lock started to flash.
レミ、お願いだから私の言うことを聞いて。逆らわないで。
Sora was tapping furiously on the keyboard, battling with the system that was locking the door. Whoa. It looked to me almost as if sparks were flying in the air. Sora's hand flew across the virtual keyboard. Whoa. Unfazed, she continued to type. Whoa, crap. Sparks violently scattered out one after another. This is quite an exciting keyboard dueling fight right here. Her RSD image wavered and the virtual keyboard disappeared. Sora, are you okay?
すみません。アクセス拒否されました。
I gathered as much. Her image continued to flicker for a while. Next thing to try was, I guess Sagumi. I mean, use more of a medical person. Sagumi, do you think there's a way to open it up?
何言ってるのよ、たけし。私もそれがわからないから困ってるんじゃない。
Oh, yeah. Right. After thinking for a bit, Sagumi asked Sora a question.
この扉が開くときにどういう動作が行われるのかわかる？そうですね。推測してみます。正しい解除キーが入力されると、そこに埋め込まれているハッチのレバーが立ち上がるはずです。レバーを回転させることで扉のロックが解除されます。ただし、現在はこのレバーは飾りです。回転は電動で自動的に。普段はモーターにロックをかけてあるようです。そう。本来は緊急時には手動で開けられるようにしてあったのに、わざわざ使えなくしたんでしょう。だとすれば。
She pulled out a flathead screwdriver. Where'd she get that from? Tsugumi's quite a mysterious person. I think this is the second or third time Takashi's wondered where she suddenly gets all these tools at.
もしレバーを取り出せれば手動で開けられるかもしれない。
She began to insert the tip of the screwdriver into the gap between the door's panel lines, and Tsugumi jammed the screwdriver in with all of her might. She tried to dig out the lever buried in the hatch by force. The alloy screwdriver crushed like a piece of candy. The lever budged slightly towards the surface of the door. However, the screwdriver bent into 2 equal parts from its handle, and the lever snapped back into place.
仕方ないわね。
Skimming threw the bent screwdriver on the floor. Damn, what are we going to do? Coco was being supported by the kid. She couldn't stand by herself. She soon was hunched over on the floor. I tried pulling her up again, but her face quickly drained of all color. This is bad if we don't get in there quickly.
Öffnen Sie die Tür vom Himmel.
Suddenly a voice that I hadn't heard before sounded from the corridor. What's it saying?
誰かがレミシステムにアクセスしています。
Someone. 1, 2, 3. Wait. We're all here. Sora flashed open her eyes
この
and
部屋の
shouted.
中、ヒンメルの端末からです。
What? The access indicator light for the electronic lock turned green. The hatch's lever raised and turned automatically. The door opened suddenly. Stagnant air poured out of the room. For some reason, the humidity felt like it was lower than the outside. The air conditioning was humming quietly. It was white. It was pure white inside. The whiteness of the wall and the floor was emphasized by the brightness of the lighting and seemed to leap out at us. Himmel. It didn't necessarily seem like a mistake to have named it the room, named the room Heaven. I was just thinking the same thing. There were nameplates on the machines with Himmel written on them. It seemed that we were in the computer control room. Hey, there's somebody here. Did he open the door just now? There was a single person in the room. It was a man who appeared to be in his 40s, dressed in a white lab coat, and blood was coming from his mouth, and he had passed out at a console. Hey, mister, you alright? The man didn't reply to me. He just lay there, motionless. Who is this guy? Sora, do you have any idea who this is?
いいえ、ID 照合できません。ですが、その服装からするとおそらく EBF の研究員の方だと思います。
I put my hands on his shoulder and raised him into a sitting position. I looked over his white clothing to see if he had any name tags or other way to determine his name. But he didn't have any ID card or nameplate to check. Hey, are you one of the staff from the research facility? Breathing faintly, the researcher replied. He seemed to be unable to open his eyes and search for me by my voice. We were kind of hoping, maybe, you were here to rescue us. He grabbed onto me with shaking hands. They were covered in blood.
LeMU にまだ人がいたのか。あれから6日は経っただろうに。こいつは驚きだ。
Blood trickled from his mouth and he smiled dryly. Hey, don't strain yourself. You don't have to talk.
すまんな。我々のせいで。
What happened? Did something happen down there?
だけど、どうしてこんな。
After that, he was silent. Hey, Hang in there. I shook his shoulders, but he didn't reply.
たけし、乱暴はやめなさいよ。彼はもう気を失っているわ。手を離してあげて。
Oh, okay.
こうなれば彼も一緒に連れて行くしかないでしょうね。
I wondered what was going on. Wait, more importantly, we've got to hurry. I don't have a clue what's going on, but I can't worry about that now. We've got to get Coco to IBF right away. You had been waiting at the entrance to Himmel, went inside with Pee-Pee. The kid followed behind, carrying Coco. The door had an electronic lock on it, so we left it open.
皆さん、この部屋の奥にもう一つ部屋があります。に
Oops. Yeah.
ええ、わかるわ。
They all nodded. There's a room on the other side of the glass in front of us.
あれは EBF 用の加減圧室です。
Sora straightened up and explained the situation without emotion.
私の持つわずかなデータから判断しますと、EBF には通常のLeMUよりもさらに高圧のガスが封入されています。EBF もまた飽和潜水仕様というわけです。その方が特殊な細菌の研究に適しているということもあるのでしょう。EBF の内部気圧は実に約 12.5 気圧。皆さんにはあの部屋に入っていただきます。そして加減圧室での約1時間の加圧が完了次第、専用リフトで EBF へと下降することになります。念のため申し上げておきますが、ここから先は容易に後戻りすることはできません。皆さん心してください。
It's harsh, but I don't think we have much choice. Yeah, with Coco being in quite dire straits, and places all gonna come down eventually, and might not catch what she gets. So, yeah, doesn't look like we have any choice. We can't go back. We've got to make a decision. What did I do last time? This I can't remember. I guess we're going. We're going! Alright, we're going. I looked at everyone. You, the kid, Tsugumi, Sora, and Pee-Pee all nodded. The kid and you held the unconscious Coco between them. Tsugumi and I picked up the researcher, and Pee-Pee took up the rear. Everyone lined up at the transparent sliding door on the far side of the room. Sora used a control panel on a terminal to open it up. All of us entered the room together. A single panel of reinforced glass lay in between the control room and the compression chamber. More precisely, a chamber was set in the middle of the room. Had been Okay, sorry. For whatever reason, it looked weird to me. More precisely, a chamber was set in the middle of the room. Had been constructed there. I think it's supposed to had been constructed there. We brought Coco and the researcher into the room first and sat them down on chairs. Both of their breathing was ragged and they looked in pain. Their faces were extremely pale and sickly. We needed to hurry. I hated to waste an hour here. You, the kid, Tsugumi, Pee-Pee all stood in the open space available. With everyone in there, it was fairly crowded.
加圧が完了すれば部屋の奥の扉が自動で開いてリフトへ行けるようになりますから。
For some reason, Sora didn't enter the room but spoke to us from in front of the entrance.
加圧は最速で行います。ちょっと辛くなるかもしれませんが、なんとか我慢してください。
In saying this, Sora went to close the door. Sora, what's wrong? You aren't coming with us?
あ、いえ、私は。
Come on, let's get started. What are you waiting for? I casually reached out toward Sora. I knew I couldn't grab her, but I did it anyway. However, as soon as I tried to touch her, sparks flew into the air. I felt as though a shock had gone through me. A transparent wall suddenly appeared in front of the door. There was a red wall of flame. What? Alarmed, I drew back my hand and the door closed. Sora! Sora! What was...
ここから先はコンピューターの管轄が違うんです。
I heard Sora's voice talking to us calmly over the speaker of the compression chamber's intercom.
私はあくまでレミの機能の一部ですから EBF には降りられないんです。アクセス残念ですがここでお見送りさせていただきます。
The wall of fire had vanished. We were in the compression chamber, shut off from the rest of the world. The sound of pumping gas, which was slowly raising the air pressure, could be heard throughout the chamber. Hey, everyone, take out your voice converters. They get in the way when you're adjusting to the pressure. Everyone did as I said, and removed their voice alternators. I took out Coco's myself. I checked the researcher, but it didn't seem he was wearing any. After that, hardly anyone said a word. We were all waiting for the time to pass. Sora could be seen outside of the chamber's window. She didn't move, only stood there and watched us. And then the lock from the door on the far side of the chamber clicked and released. I felt a subtle change in pressure and the lift down to IBF opened. We all filed into it one by one.
それでは皆さんどうかご無事で。
We could hear a voice from the speaker on the other side of the room. But we couldn't see her. I wondered if I would ever see her up close again. Cocking my head to one side, I thrust the voice alternators back in my ears. Everyone got aboard the lift, and as soon as the door closed, the elevator started sliding down.
Tiefe, 70 Meter. Tiefe, 80 Meter. Tiefe, 90 Meter.
What could be below heaven? Trick question? More heaven or...
Tiefe, 190 Meter.
The door to the elevator opened. The passage extended in two directions from the elevator room. I went in one of these. Everything was totally dark and I could hardly tell where I was headed. Fearfully, I took a step forward. And suddenly, as if someone had noticed our arrival, the lights went on in the room. Is someone there?
勝手についたみたいだったけど。センサーが反応してコンピューターが照明を操作した。わからないけどあり得るね。
It seemed that there was a pool where a small submarine could dock. The pool was a two-layer structure, but there was no sign that seawater would flow in. It felt a little hot in there, but it seemed as if the air conditioning was still working properly. Perhaps the place was even more comfortable than the flooded Drifty stop. But there was no sign of anyone. Anyway, let's get to where we have to go. We opened a watertight door at the other side of the room, and continued deeper into the installation. A passageway the same size as LeMU's emergency corridors. No, maybe even smaller, led off into the distance. For some reason the whole place seemed colder, less alive than the structure above. As we continued down the corridor, lights would go on automatically a few feet in front of us. Well, it certainly seems computer controlled. As we continued moving, the lights followed us, lighting up the only areas around us. Talking about this other computer system, it would be funny if it looked like Sora. The only difference is it had like a goatee or whatever, not an evil version. That would completely take you out of the story, but I find it incredibly funny. The corridor branched off in a few directions, but all of them ended at watertight doors that were closed. I wondered if IBF had flooded except for one part. Anyway, the number of areas that we could enter was limited. Luckily, we found the examination room right away. I quickly turned the handle and opened the door. Oh great, this room looks familiar to me. You and the kid laid Coco down on a nearby table. Sugumi and I put the researcher down in a chair slowly. There were a few ordinary beds in the examination room, and the same kind of MRI that we had found at LeMU's infirmary. There were numerous medical instruments that looked like things that you might only see in a science fiction movie or game. I wondered what in the world they were for. I had no idea. Hey you, where is that high pressure oxygen thing that Sora was talking about?
わかんないよ、そんなの。
Skimmy, what should we do?
調べるしかないわ。ここのことは誰も知らないんだから。
待て。
Yeah, that guy knows. What do you know, guy? The researcher coughed as he spoke. Hey, don't move. Are you okay? Please give us this information because we're going to die if we don't know it.
無事とは言えんが、まだ生きてるよ。
With his eyes closed, he raised his hands weakly in
この
response.
匂い。ここは eBayF か。戻ってきてしまったな。
So, you were working here. Well then, there's something I want to ask you. We're looking for something called a high-pressure oxygen treatment device. We've come as far as the examination room, but we don't have a clue what to look for. Can you help us, please?
酸素治療。ああ、ポッドだな。
The pods.
合金製のカプセルがあるはずだ。中にマットが敷いてある。円筒形の柱にくっついてるやつだ。見えるかい？
Yeah, they're right in front of me.
そいつがそうだ。
Fascinating design choice there. Almost like they're coffins. Hang in there. We found them, so don't waste your energy talking anymore, okay? New blood appeared on the researcher's closed hand as he wiped his mouth.
あとはマニュアルを見てくれ。操作は簡単なはずだ。
Okay, gotcha. The strength left the researcher's hand. Just before he collapsed, I grabbed onto his shoulder to support his body. Let's put him in a pod, and Coco too.
ええ、そうね。
Sugumi and I got on either side of the researcher and supported him. We brought him over to where the 3 pods were. When I pressed the button on the side of one, its hatched open. I put him down gently inside. When I pressed the button again, the capsule pod closed again silently. The kid and you laid Coco down in another pod. The hatch to the pod closed soon after. Did you find the manual?
見つけた。こっちのコントロールパネルで。
You started operating a terminal a short distance
高圧
away.
酸素治療。セット。
The screens on the monitors attached to the tubes flickered, and both of the pods seemed to be functioning normally.
これで大丈夫なはずよ。
Okay. The condition of the people inside the pods was monitored and appeared on the control panel. Blood pressure, heart rate, respiration rate. The expressions on their faces were even visible. I watched them for a few minutes. Coco and the researcher, whose name we didn't know. It was a slow process, but they both seemed to be gradually returning to normal.
よかった。ええ、よかったわ。本当。うん。
Oops. Looks like we made it in time. We let out a collective sigh of relief. It seemed as if we had escaped the worst for the moment. Well... excuse me. We don't have time to hang around, you know. We didn't know if the situation here at IBF was any different than LeMU. There might be other survivors, or a way out, even communications. We could possibly even find information about TB. It was the best to search as much as time would allow. Everyone agreed, so Sugumi, the kid, and I went looking around IBF. I don't know if I should try to make this a long one, or I think I'm going to cut it here. I think I can cut it here. Alright, well, I hope you folks enjoyed this. This is... I know, I feel very certain this time they were near the end. So I kind of forgot the party and the Tsugumi with the hamster and the other stuff that I've already forgotten in the last 3 days that I know have. Oh yeah, the kid getting kind of angry and stuff. I forgot all that stuff after the original Tsugumi scene. But anyway, I do hope you folks enjoyed, and I have a feeling, I'm very certain that the ending will be in the next episode, but not the end of this Let's Play. Let's all hope they get rescued and live happily ever after this time around. And that's sure to happen. Yeah. Anyway, hope you folks enjoyed, and I shall return next time. Farewell.